What we've just done here is we have some new equipment in here, and we were working over it, and it decided to do something that we weren't expecting. Please forgive me. Welcome to the Wells Report. This is the Wells Report for Tuesday, the 18th day of July, year of our Lord 2023. Let me go back through some of that news on the front page today. This is where we give you an opportunity to know what the news is as you start your day. An American was detained yesterday after crossing from South into North Korea, this according to the United Nations. The organization that oversees security in the demilitarized zone separating the two Koreas said the U.S. national was on an orientation tour and crossed without authorization. It said the American was in North Korean custody and they were working to resolve the incident. No further details provided. The U.S. State Department did not immediately reply to a comment request. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has ordered F-35 and F-16 fighter jets deployed to the Middle East, as well as the destroyer USS Thomas Hudner. This from CNN. This in response also to Iranian activities in the Strait of Hormuz. In response to a number of recent alarming events in the Strait of Hormuz, Secretary of Defense ordered the deployment to defend U.S. interests and safeguard freedom. Newsmax is reporting that a Tennessee representative has passed along that the Secret Service destroyed evidence. Representative Tim Burchett, the Republican from Tennessee, told Newsmax yesterday the Secret Service destroyed the bag containing cocaine at the White House and does not have enough DNA evidence to identify who may have left it there. The Secret Service does not even have the key from the locker where the cocaine was found. It said originally we didn't find enough DNA. Now they came back and said we didn't find any DNA. Apparently, they destroyed the bag and any chance of being able to harvest any of that evidence. A former FBI agent has confirmed key portions of testimony from two IRS whistleblowers. This is the headline from the Washington Examiner. This included federal investigators not being allowed to interview Hunter Biden, according to the House Oversight Committee. Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, stated yesterday that an interview given by a former FBI supervisory special agent confirmed previous testimony that the FBI and Secret Service were tipped off about an interview with Hunter Biden on the day before the interview was scheduled to occur. According to the testimony, on the day of the interview, which was December 8th, 2020, IRS and FBI agents, criminal investigators, in fact, were instructed to stand down outside Biden's house, not to approach Biden until he, Hunter Biden, called them. As a result of the change in plans, IRS and FBI criminal investigators never got to interview Hunter Biden as a part of the investigation, said Comer. The Justice Department's efforts to cover up for the Bidens reveals a two-tiered system of justice that sickens the American people. The former FBI agent testified that he had never been told to wait outside to be contacted by the subject of an investigation before the interview with Hunter Biden. By the way, speaking of the Oversight Committee, Oversight Chairman is pushing back on the ranking member's words on MSNBC. This from Fox News. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer of Kentucky, he's a Republican, responded to claims from his panel's ranking member that the GOP side of the dais was leading the committee to its legitimacy being eroded as its investigations into Biden family business dealings continue. In an interview with MSNBC host and former Biden White House press secretary Jen Psaki, Rankin said that he is overall, this is Jamie Rankin, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. He said that he is overall concerned with the House Oversight Committee suddenly being compromised in a really serious way. Our legitimacy is being eroded by the tactics adopted by Chairman Comer. Then, on the Ingram angle on Fox News, Comer fired back at Raskin, saying his comments were disappointing but not surprising. He went on to say the tactics we are using in the House Oversight Committee, we're using a thing called evidence, and it's something that Jamie Raskin has no concept of, and the Democrat liberal media will not consider. We have Biden's bank records. We have bank violations from 6 different banks that all reported to the Treasury Department. They felt the Biden family was laundering money through shell companies. They were concerned about the fact that some of these wires were getting from foreign nationals from state-owned entities. Speaking of other places on the Hill, Representative Jim Jordan is weighing a contempt citation for Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI. This from The Hill. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan threatened Monday, that's yesterday, to hold the FBI Director Christopher Wray in contempt of Congress for what he claims is the agency's wholly inadequate compliance with two subpoenas issued earlier this year. We write to notify you, says the letter, that if the FBI does not improve its compliance substantially, the committee will take action, such as the initiation of contempt of Congress charges. This, said Jordan to Wray, giving the FBI a deadline of July 25th at 12 p.m. In February, Wray, along with Attorney General Merrick Garland and Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, were issued subpoenas following a memo from Garland that noted a disturbing spike in harassment, intimidation, and threats of violence against school administrators, board members, teachers, and staff. Jordan has previously claimed the memo raises serious concerns over First Amendment rights. In yesterday's letter, he described the subpoena as connected to the FBI's targeting of concerned parents who speak out at school board meetings. Jordan said the FBI failed to comply on a voluntary basis, stating the FBI turned out only 4 redacted pages of school board related documents by the March 1st deadline. Yeah. Okay. And so let's move on. Press Secretary is getting Pinocchios over a Bidenomics claim. This on Fox. Social media users were pushed back against the White House Press Secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre's. Let's try that again. Social media users pushed back against White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre's claim that wages were up for Americans despite a Twitter community note saying otherwise. This was a disclaimer from Twitter that said this doesn't necessarily comport with the facts. During a Monday press conference yesterday, a reporter questioned Jean-Pierre about a tweet from President Biden's facing a fact check by the Twitter feature. The president had a tweet out last night saying that real wages for average American workers are higher than they were before the pandemic. That tweet has now been annotated with a message from the platform saying that it is not factual and that they have some stats and some charts footnoted along with that. Do you welcome that kind of contest from tech platforms? She replied, we disagree. We disagree because we're looking at the data from February of 2021, and what we've seen is the wages have gotten stronger, have increased. We've seen that Bidenomics has really been helpful in making sure that we build an economy that leaves no one behind. Twitter users attacked Jean-Pierre's assertion about the community note as well as her claims about Bidenomics. Taking a look at the Georgia Supreme Court, the Wall Street Journal reports that the Supreme Court of Georgia denied a motion by Donald Trump's lawyers to essentially shut down the criminal investigation into efforts to overturn his 2020 election defeat in the state. In a 5-page opinion in which all justices concurred, the court wrote that Trump had not shown that the case represents one of those extremely rare circumstances in which this court's original jurisdiction could be invoked. Therefore, the petition is dismissed. The motion filed last week with the state's highest court argued that the Republican former president's rights were violated by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who is handling the probe, and the judge who oversaw the process. It sought to block Willis, a Democrat, from further investigating Trump and to prohibit her from using a report from an investigative grand jury that recommended unknown individuals face criminal charges. While we're on presidential politics, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is defending his flirtation with a third-party presidential campaign. He has a no labels party or a no labels group. That's what they're calling themselves. And he spoke at a forum at St. Anselm College in New Hampshire. And he said, having talked about a third-party run, he does not intend to be a spoiler in the 2024 election. This being reported by CNN. I've never been in any race I've ever spoiled. I've been in races to win. And if I get into a race, I am going to win. We're here, Manchin told a supportive audience, to make sure that the American people have an option. Manchin is up for re-election to the Senate in 2024. In an interview with CNN's Caitlin Collins on The Source, he also said he's not sure whether he's planning to run for the Senate for another term. I haven't made any decision, nor will I make a decision until the end of next year. Former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory described the No Labels efforts to get on presidential ballots in states across the country as an insurance policy against the result, but said the group's first goal is to influence the agenda of politicians who are coming to New Hampshire and other states during this primary season. By the way, they are extremely concerned about Joe Biden running for the presidency, and the possibility of a Biden-Trump rematch is why the No Labels effort has been put together. This is the Wells Report Front Page. My name is Jon-David Wells. Sorry for the audio problem right at the beginning. That took us by surprise. We'll have more of the Front Page coming up in just a couple of moments as we delve into just exactly what's happening in American news, analysis, commentary, and debate. More of the Wells Report is coming up. Please stay right there.